Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to the 6 News Roundup. Today we're rounding up all the Tachanka Rework news that came with the live stream today and also some teases of balancing that's going to be happening as well, because of course this Tachanka update, this rework, will be coming with the mid-season balancing, so there'll be a lot of other balancing changes that we'll find out about tomorrow when we get the patch notes for the test server. So anyway, let's talk about Tachanka's rework. So he's getting his LMG as his primary, which you can actually walk around with. Looks like it's amazing. Here's the actual in-game stats for the weapon, but also it does increase damage. You can pop hatches with it. You can also destroy walls, so you can actually move through them, which means it destroys the wooden beams, which usually get in the way. I think this is the first fully automatic weapon that does it that isn't a shotgun. So that's amazing and very, very useful, of course. Now he's still 3 armor, 1 speed. And of course, he also has the SMG as a backup weapon. He has lost his shotgun, but who cares? This LMG is going to take over that position very well. And we've got the PMM for pistol or the GSH 18 and barbed wire or proximity alarm. And of course, he gets his grenade launcher as well, which fires incendiary grenades that set an area on fire. It doesn't look too big of an area. I think it looks smaller than Smoke's gas grenades. But of course, he gets 10 of them. 5 per magazine of the grenade launcher, but he does need to reload the blanks that are used to actually fire those grenades individually. So it's not like, this is the thing, he can be ready to rock and roll and fire off 5 grenades real quickly, then he will have to reload, but it's not going to take like too long. Yeah, it looks pretty damn good. There's actually, I don't know if it's, this is the thing, I don't know if it's going to be viable or not, but I could see definite possibility. So this is going to be very, very powerful and could be awesome. Although I shouldn't forget to actually mention that he does come with a surprise, and that is that he can withstand. So he can get himself back up from being downed, just like Zofia can. So yeah, he also has that, which arguably might be more useful on defense than it is on attack. Now, of course, it's going to be in the test server for probably at least a couple of weeks, and a lot of feedback will be able to be given and see how it kind of settles down, because I assume that they will tweak it as time goes on and we see how people play with it and things like that. Now, the other thing is the LMG has a custom sight, so it's kind of, apparently actually it's supposed to be a World War II, I think it was bomber sight they said in the live stream. So looks cool, very nice, and yeah, it also appears to change with the custom colors as well. So yeah, great sight, no problems there. I do wonder if there's customization for other sights. I remember when we seen this in the preview at the beginning of the year, they did show it with a few different sights. So yeah, be interesting if you can take it off and go iron sights or potentially put other sights on it. We'll have to wait and see, of course, until tomorrow. But let's move on from Tachanka and talk about balancing, because like I said, this is going to be the mid-season balancing patch, so there is going to be other balancing changes, but they didn't mention any in the live stream, which I was really surprised by. I thought Tachanka was going to be the kind of the headline thing, and then they'd actually talk about other stuff as well, but they didn't. It was just about Tachanka. So the other balancing changes that we did see was the Ace appears to be getting a nerf. He's going to be destroying 2 strips with his gadget per time instead of the usual 3, which means a smaller hole overall. Still decent size so that you can vault in that or crouch through it if it's low enough. So that's not a big issue, but it is interesting to see that. That is obviously them taking some action against Ace, thinking he's a little bit too powerful in that area. So that is definitely interesting to say the least. And he appears to still have 3 of them, so he's not getting nerfed in the numbers. Then we have an interesting switch in weapons. So Oryx and Melusi appear to have switched weapons. Melusi now has the MP5 and Oryx has the T5. Now, it could have been that it was just a UI issue, because of course this is a test server build that they're actually playing. It could be a problem with that, but we actually see Oryx in the victory standing there with his T5. So he certainly does have that weapon. It appears that those 2 operators have switched guns. And of course the T5, which if you don't know, that's Legion's weapon. That is a substantially better kind of close combat weapon than the MP5. And of course it suits Oryx a bit better, but it's a big nerf for sure for Melusi. That is a far worse weapon for her to have. Of course, we'll see the patch notes sometime before or at the time the test server goes live tomorrow. And I expect we'll also, see balancing graphs and stuff like that to show who's powerful, who's getting picked a lot, all that jazz later as well. So yeah, there's going to be a lot this week probably to go over. And of course, when this test server comes out, I'm going to be jumping on and myth busting this new Tachanka rework and taking a look at all the other changes as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a busy week. and I'll have the Mythbusters up on the Core Rush channel as soon as I can after that. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Expect it to be pretty intense for like at least a couple of days, and we'll have probably everything pretty much covered by the weekend. But let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Of course, Tachanka getting reworked here is pretty damn significant. It's a huge change for him. They did say that they originally didn't plan to rework, and this is from previous talks with him before. They didn't plan to rework Tachanka because he was such an icon, but the actual turret was creating so many bugs in the game, they decided we're going to have to rework him and get rid of that. So that's kind of the reason he actually got reworked. But it's obviously also going to make him more viable. And how good is he going to be with 10 incendiary grenades? Like, he's got a lot of potential to really slow down the attackers big time. Or it could be that he pulls out his grenade launcher and tries to fire it off and gets shot and killed. Because of course he has to switch to it to use it, switch back to his primary to use that. It is going to be a bit of a pain, and we'll see how it works out and how people play him. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
LMG mounted and loaded!